Hey ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? My name is Cosmos and welcome back to another video on my channel. In today's video, friends, I'm going to be hitting you guys up with another amazing video, and this one is, spoiler alert, a really good one. And this one is how to dominate the end game inside of Fortnite. Now I know a lot of you guys out there get to the end game and you guys are like, what do I do? And you're in your little base at the end and you're like, what do I do? When do I attack? How do I attack? How do I make sure that I'm going to win the gunfight? And overall, how do I make sure I'm going to secure the win by dominating the end game? So ladies and gentlemen, you could either be a player like that, or you could just be a player that wants to get more kills in the end game, and usually in the end game are really stuck and not sure when to rush people or whatever. But I got a whole bunch of tips in here for you guys, and if you guys haven't already, drop a like on this video. Let's go for 100 likes. I don't know, can we do it? I think we can, so make sure you guys do go ahead and smash 100 likes. I think we can do it. And anyway, ladies and gentlemen, subscribe to the channel as well, chuck on the notification bell, and let's get into it. So my first tip is a very simple one, but trust me, this has happened to me a few times. Make sure all your weapons are reloaded. Now you don't want to get into the middle of the gunfight. This is the end game, remember. Everyone is basically stacked. You can get in your mind that everyone's got really good weapons and you can't afford to waste a second to reload a weapon or something. Just make sure it's really simple. Probably a lot of you guys already do this, but if you guys don't, make sure you do go ahead and reload all your guns. Make sure they're reloaded, because if they're not, trust me, it's happened to me before. You take out your shotgun, you start reloading, like, oh no, and you died. And it's honestly not a very good feeling when you die because you didn't have a gun reloaded. That's just a simple one. I thought I'd start it off simple, but this one right here is a life hack on how to get wins, okay? So in the end game, to dominate it, you're going to want to be playing aggressive. You're not going to want to be playing passive, sit in your little base for the whole game. You're not going to want to do that. You're going to want to play aggressive, but make sure before you rush, you follow these few tips. So before you rush the player, you're going to want to have in your mind an idea, kind of like your mind's going to be spinning, maybe somewhere at the back of your mind, it's going to be spinning, just thinking, what's going to happen? What are the possible outcomes if I rush this guy? And before I do that, I want to try and get as many facts about the player as I can. And you guys are like, what the hell is he talking about? But this is health-wise. Like, you don't want to rush a player with full shield when you have like 50 shield, but you're going to want to make sure, maybe get a few AR hits on him first, see if he's got shield, and maybe try and knock off all of his shield so you know, hey, this guy is under 100 health right now. I'm on 150 health. I should be able to go ahead and rush him. Just make sure you're always thinking that in your mind instead of just rushing at him, just thinking, oh, dude, let's just go for him. Just think in your mind. Make sure you have their shield off, and you want to have the advantage over players in the final zone by making sure that you have the advantage with your shield. Now, shield, if you don't have it, you're kind of going to be screwed, but you're probably going to want to play a little less aggressive, or even if you are, you're going to want to definitely make sure you follow this tip and make sure that you're just trying to knock off all their shield so you're on a more even level. But if you can get shields in the final fight, like, you're going to absolutely be at such an advantage, because shields do win games. Now, if you guys follow that tip, trust me, it's a big one. It's amazing. Do it, follow it. It's really good. But once you've done that, our next weapon here is have a base. Now, you're not going to really sit in this base the whole time. This is just maybe after you've killed someone, just make a little base around yourself to make sure that you can go ahead and also just heal up. Make sure you're ready to take on another player. And what I actually did in the gameplay is there was this guy sitting in a base, and what I noticed that there was a building right next to him. So I used that building to my advantage to go ahead and sneak up behind him without directly rushing his base so he knew I was coming. I snuck around the building and I caught him by surprise and got him with the RPG. Got in his base, made sure I was all healed up, make sure I had all my shields on, and then after that I waited for the zone, and when the zone came, I went ahead and just launch padded there. And now with that thing, have a base. Now what I kind of touched on before was make sure you have a strategy to exit the base if you need to. So if the zone's coming, if someone's rushing you and you're like still healing up, you're gonna want to make sure that you have a backup plan, a plan B, and maybe a launch pad, a door, something like that that's going to help you out so you can make a quick exit. What I do if I have launch pads is I make a base and I have a little launch pad area on the other side of the base, and if I need to go to zone real quick or whatever, I just jump on the launch pad, get straight to zone, and then prepare up another base there or whatever. But just don't stay in this base for ages. If you see a guy and I usually use bases just to look around, make sure that I can see everyone, know where everyone is, and just really examine what I'm going to do next. Where's the zone? What am I going to do next? And I don't use the base to just sit there and wait for people to come to me. I use it to make sure I can just plan out my next move without getting sniped from some direction or something. And then once I've done that and I figure out a way that I'm going to get the next player or get another player in the base, I actually jump out of my base and try and go ahead and keep taking down the people and kind of play aggressive. But once again, make sure that I know I'm not going to go directly into their base from the launch pad if they might have full shield, I'm going to make sure that I can maybe get close to them, see how much shield they have. But yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, that is a thing there about your base, and make sure you have an exit strategy. And when you do that base, you don't want to do a little 1x1 with a roof on it and just do that. You're going to want to make sure you have the high ground over the enemies so you can see everything. You're not going to want to have some guy above you so you can't really see him, you're not sure what he's doing. You're going to want to make sure that you have the high ground over players, and make sure that it's not going to be easy for players to go ahead and just build up on you just like that. You're going to want to make it pretty tough. Don't build a 1x1 really high up. Just make sure that you do have protection and it's not like too small, and make sure you have the high ground over the players. And just continue on for that. When you do have that high ground, you're going to be able to see every enemy, and if not, you're going to really want to be in your head and be like, where could these guys be? Just say there's 4 guys left, and you're looking around, you're like, where could these guys be? Okay, there's 2 bases, so that leaves 1 person that's not in the base, okay? So there's me, and there's these 2 guys in the base, and there's 1 other guy that we don't know where he is, whatever, and that makes up 4 players, of course. And you really want to make sure that you know where this player is. You're not going to want to, hey, yo, where is this guy? You're going to want to look around. Okay, so there's a base there, there's a base there. Now, where could this guy possibly be? In my case, I was looking around and I saw this house, and I'm like, okay, there's all these planes. There's no way this guy could be sitting behind a tree, really. So he's got to be camping in this house. And sure enough, he was camping in the house. I launch padded over to that house, and I went ahead and made sure, did I hear footsteps? And I did hear footsteps. But I knew the guy probably wasn't going to come out, so I made sure I focused on the other guys. I kept an eye out for the footsteps. As you guys know, make sure in the back of your head you know that there's a guy under there, you know that he's not opening doors, you know exactly what he's doing. But in my case, I was focusing on these other guys, just in the back of my mind, just hearing this guy, whether I can hear him, is he coming out, and I was just making sure that he was still in there. But there was still these 2 other threats in the bases. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be telling you really how to take on these bases right now, because it is honestly a really tough thing to do. When you have these big bases in these areas, it's like, dude, how do I challenge these things? And I don't recommend you guys to go ahead, let's build upstairs all the way to the top of this base. No, it's not going to work. You're going to want to play passive here. Like, you're not going to want to play aggressive to people in bases unless you can afford to. If you have an RPG, try and shoot down their base, see how they react. Maybe try and get a few hits on them with your AR as well. So shoot a few RPG bullets, shoot some AR bullets, see if you can get off any of their shield, and then go ahead and maybe launch pad. But if you do know they're weak, you can go ahead and just take them down, rush them then. But if you guys are not sure what they're on, just play it cautious. Maybe even if you have an RPG, shoot down at the bottom of their base, try and get their base to collapse. But you're really not going to be rushing bases with stairs or just building up to it. You're not going to want to do that because it's really risky. And they got time to make sure hey, yo, he's coming up here. I can ready myself. Meanwhile, you're still trying to get up there without getting shot. But you really want to be careful. Don't just rush people mindlessly. Just know that, hey, those people in the bases, they're going to be coming for me. Now, I need to be careful. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is basically a tip there. Now, if there's, say, 1 guy left and you know where he is, maybe you don't, you're going to want to keep an eye on the zone. Make sure you have the zone. You don't want to be sitting there and being like, oh, dude, the zone's coming right now. What do I do? You want to make sure you have your eye in the zone, and also just be thinking, where am I going next? The zone's small, the guy's over this way, or the guy, I don't know where he is. You're going to make sure you always have the zone, and you're not going to want to be sitting out of the zone until the last second and just be freaking out like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? Then end up just falling down on the ground and dying of fall damage or something. You're not going to want to do that. Trust me, it's happened to me. I remember when the game first came out, me and my mates went ahead, we were just focusing on these guys. We weren't even thinking. The zone was coming. Oh my god, what do we do? Our first reaction was jump out of the base, and we all died. So that was not good at all. So you guys want to make sure that you keep an eye out on the zone at all times. This goes on really throughout the whole game, but it's more important at the end game as you're really sitting there being like, okay, when's the zone coming? Where am I going to go? And you're not going to want to directly go at the guy. And really, the last guy, I don't like rushing them. I like making sure, hey, I like having the advantage over them, getting the high ground over them, making sure, hey, I'm right here, dude. And in my case, once again, the last guy was hiding inside of the house. It was that same guy as before. He was hiding in the house, and really, I just went into zone because the zone was a little bit further away from me. It also was away from him. So I went into zone, and then I just started shooting RPG bullets inside the windows, pressuring him, making him come out, and just trying to really figure out where he is because I didn't know exactly where he was in the house. So I was just trying to put pressure on him, trying to get him to seize up, trying to get him to come out and rush me because that's honestly the best situation as the last guy. You can play aggressive as much as you want during winning the game, but really the last guy, you're not going to want to play aggressive until you know, hey, I'm going to win this gunfight. I like when they start rushing me and something like that, so just trying for the last guy, get into the zone, make sure you have the advantage over him. That is, in my opinion, the best way to go ahead and win, and if you can make sure you can go ahead and dominate that last guy, really, you're going to win the game easily. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is showing you guys how to dominate the end game. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe, as well as chucking on the notification bell. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for coming out, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.